the meeting to order. Ed, did you have a chance to send out the meeting minutes from last month?
So
Did? Okay, I don't think I saw them.
I believe I sent them out after the meeting, but I.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Uh,
okay. Did anyone have any updates for the meeting minutes? No? Hey, Catherine.
Hi. You joining us? Okay, very good. Bye. Bye. Russell's on his way in. And he lives at the house next door.
Just has to roll down the hill.
So who's on? Just Catherine? Patrick not on?
Yep, we have Catherine and Joan and Russ is coming down.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. We have everyone but Patrick.
yep. I will make a motion to go ahead and approve the meeting minutes from January 10th.
Second it. You know, I did not see those, so January 2nd?
January 10th.
Yeah, 10th.
Yeah.
I saw the December ones.
It's possible. I didn't send them out.
Oh,
Possible. I've been very busy.
Yeah.
They're complete. They look very nice.
That's what?
I said they're complete. They look very nice.
I'm sure they do. You do an excellent job every week, every month. Just looking through.
So
my-
they didn't get sent to everybody.
Okay, so
I can.
Can I second it even though I have not seen them?
no,
It's a
let's not.
conflict of interest, right?
Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay.
Well, we can skip that, the approval for the meeting minutes, and we'll just approve them for next meeting. I'll just jot down a note.
I'll send them both out last month and this month, so we can.
All right, made a note for myself. Joan, do you have any updates for the treasurer's report?
All of our accounts are the same as they were last month. Nothing has changed. So, I don't have the exact figures, but if you have what last month's figures are, they're the same.
Okay,
The two-
excellent.
The $1,000 in our regular account that the town gives us, the $25,000 that was approved at the last town meeting, and our $917 in our what do you call it account, donation account. And those are the accounts that we have, and they're the
Okay.
same.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. So I will move on to the next item, which is Ellen Arnold's interpretive plan for conservation and recreation. I had checked the historical commission mailbox last week and we didn't have any mail, but I just checked it as I was walking up today to the meeting and I found a letter from the Friends of Upton State Forest. I haven't opened it. I haven't looked at it at all.
It's the monthly.
Oh, is this just the newsletter? Okay. Okay, so it's just, if it's just a newsletter, it's probably not relevant to this action item here today. I'll just open it quickly just to confirm that it is in fact a newsletter. Yes, I think it is. Okay. Hey, Russ.
Oh. Hello.
Yes, it looks like it is the newsletter. So I don't see Ellen on the line, so I think we will go ahead and skip that item. The next item is the Heritage Park sign. And we received an update from Blackstone Valley Tech. Derek had sent us a picture of the students painting the sign and it looks beautiful. The way it's coming out is just fantastic. I think I might even, did I? Let's see, I might even have the picture. Let's see if I do. I do. I don't know, I can't really share it on the internet, but I can share it with people within the room. This is the students painting the sign.
Oh, it's coming out good.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really beautiful. I'm really impressed with what with the work they're doing. It's gorgeous. It's exactly the way I envisioned it.
No, this is their sign, just like.
It's gonna look exactly like the
Yeah,
old sign,
yeah,
yeah.
I can see it.
They even
Wow.
carved the letters by hand and everything. So they're doing an absolutely fabulous job on. Yeah,
That's precision. That's beautiful.
yeah, it looks just like the old sign.
Yeah.
So,
After complaining a little bit about our request to hand carve the whole sign, not just parts of it, the kids did a great job.
yeah, absolutely. You can see the hand carving in the
Yeah.
letters, which I think is great. It just adds a little bit more character.
We'll put a sign up this spring.
Is that a
Okay.
little bit bigger than the other one?
It should be the exact size,
Should be
and you can
about-
see the one in the background. This is
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm really impressed with this. So,
absolutely.
It'll
Beautiful.
be exciting come spring. I think it'll probably be completed. It'll be exciting to see it back up in its original spot.
Yeah, my daughter went to Valley Tech and they kept some of her artwork and such. She wanted,
Oh,
I don't
really?
know where it is, but I mean, she's been
Okay.
out a long time.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, she says they kept some of my stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do great work
Fred.
over there. Very impressive.
Could we put on our next agenda to come up with a plan for the installation of the sign? Maybe have some kind of event to encourage people to come to the park and see the new sign and visit the cave?
Yes, absolutely. I'll make a note of that.
Okay, I should be back for that meeting.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, we'll discuss that at the next meeting. I'll definitely edit the agenda to include that as well. Okay. The next item on the agenda is discussion of historical design by Upton residents. It was submitted by Rick McGuire. I don't see him in the meeting, and in fact, he had sent me an email stating that he is part of the finance committee, which is meeting right now, which is where Joe Layden had to go. Joe was planning on attending this meeting as well, but he couldn't make it because he had to attend the finance committee. So I don't think we'll be discussing that item. So we'll just leave that on the agenda for March. So the next item on the agenda is the Stoddard Street demolition discussion, and I believe we have two guests here to discuss that item. If you wouldn't mind stating your name.
Lord Wilson's.
Okay.
And
Okay. Nice to meet you.
she takes all the planning and stuff.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm sorry. How do you spell your name?
LOURIV as a big AL.
Okay.
As the NTOS.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. And
Craig,
So-
I can hear them.
you can't hear them.
And
Okay.
they-
Laura Wilson.
Can they sit at
Uh,
the table in front of you?
Yes, we have a microphone here, so I wonder if you could come and sit at the table. We'll just relocate the.
Get the executive seats.
Okay. Lori Val Santos. What's her name? I'm sorry.
Joe?
John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And I'm
Okay.
here with my daughter Maria Clara Santos.
If you can just give us a brief description of the status of the building and we'll just let you give.
Yeah.
Status, yeah.
I bought the property almost 2 years ago. No, was December of 2022. And then when I bought, I'm gonna do a brief about the whole thing.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I got a plot plan, which was included the septic area. And then when I closed, Valerie discovered that I didn't own the septic area, so I had to buy it, and was a lien on the property. So it took forever to get. That's why I haven't done anything yet. So then I pushed the area that I thought I had on the left side of the property. Finally, I could start. So I took permits like all the time. My daughter took like almost like a 10 permit, building permit to do roof, and then demo a shed, and then finish the garage, like the siding. And I have pictures. I stopped at Staples, but I could ask them to print pictures for me, but they closed when I was coming in. I couldn't get them to show step by step. So, and then I put the addition, the foundation addition. I thought I was all set to start demo and start framing the house. I had a permit to took down the top floor, the roof and the top floor. But when I took down the roof and the top floor, the floor joist of the first floor was 2x6. That was Saturday. I thought it wasn't a big deal. And then when we took the 2x6s, floor joists, one of the walls opened up. Like, and then let's take down the whole thing, and then I'll go to the town Monday. Oh, but so many people came, like the cops, National Grid, Pat came. Was like the fire department came, National Grid, Eversource, everybody came. And then Pat say, Lorval, don't do anything now. You stop, and then now you're gonna have to do the other way because you took more than you were supposed to take. So, and then I fenced it in, the whole property with chicken wire, but well, nobody's gonna go in to the garage, so it's not accessible, the area that, and then they say I would need to come through the historical commission to start again, depending on what you decide. Yeah, you pretty much like,
Yeah, thanks for that overview.
but I shoot myself on the foot big time. Like, do you know the term, like shoot yourself on the foot? I did that big time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand your situation, because I don't personally think that the town has a good way of notifying new residents about things that they need to take into consideration.
Yeah, no, but I think like I should know. Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if you should know, because I feel like the town has a responsibility to notify new residents about things that they should know, because otherwise you don't know. I think that there should be some sort of flyer for new residents stating all the different, there's a lot of things that new residents should be notified about that I don't think that they have any current way of being notified about. So I had reached out to Joe Layden and Mike Antonellis to discuss that. And I think we're going to continue that conversation. Also part of the Economic Development Committee. So I brought that up as an agenda item for the meeting tomorrow. This is neither here nor there. I feel like that there should be some notification and information for new residents, because as of right now, if a new resident buys a property within the town, they have no way of being notified that there is a demolition delay.
Did you have a permit for the working?
Yes.
You did get a permit from this?
Yes, and matter of fact, I got like probably I have 10 permitting, because I thought I could just like do the roof, and then which the first permit that I got was I took a permit to do the roof of the house because it was water coming in. But then the property was, as I start, then we did the roof. But then as we're doing the roof, the second floor ceiling start caving in, and then was like a ceiling joist rotted. And then I say, and then I changed my plans. But if you look at the website, we took like 10 permits, probably like 10 building permits, because I change as we go, we change. And then, but every step that I did, we took permit for.
Oh, okay, so I didn't realize that. So you do have a building permit as of right now.
Yes, but not to take down the whole house. The plan shows that I would leave the first floor. But the first floor, the ceiling joist would not meet. First, I was doing the roof, just the roof. But then, and I spent like $12,000. And then I said, no, let's change the plan because the rooms was, and then I did this plan over here. Then I said, now I know what to do. And then this building permit that I have is for add the second floor, do demolishing the kitchen and add the new kitchen. Can I open this?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I can. I am doing by myself.
Experience and
Yes. Yeah. I have a masonry company and then if I can I this is the I'm gonna bring this one so you can see better. I'm gonna put. Yeah, just hold it. Just hold it. Yeah. This side, the text. Yes. And then after I did the roof, and then I asked the architect, redraw that out. And then I add this part, I demo this. And add this and the pictures. This is the origin. And I was going to make this part.
so that right hand wing was demolished.
This, yes.
Expand the house.
Expand the house.
And you got a permit from the town hall here to do that?
Yes, before, and we did this, yeah, I had that building permit. And he inspected I dug down the foundation, the food, he inspected the food. And then we put ICF, which we asked him to upload on them. That's what he's working, because he doesn't have much experience on ICF foundations. Those new type of foundation that, and then he asked me to upload. He asked me if we have pictures step by step, CGS, which I can show you with you. He asked me to upload. So yes, and yeah, so I do. And then this part, we're going to stay, but the ceiling joist was 2x6 with 2000. And then when we took this part, open it up. And then when
Obviously. And I'm even surprised they gave them a permit for this new historic home.
yes.
I'm not surprised they had a 2x6 ceiling joist, single story cape house that was built 100.
No, actually, it was the bedrooms was on the second floor. Yeah, let me. This is the house.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
Okay.
So I had two questions. So you said that you had purchased one property and then you purchased another property.
Yes.
Was there houses on both properties?
No.
Just one. So one was a lot and then you lot.
Yeah.
Three adjacent properties, one had a house.
Because- Yeah, the septic system on the plot where
Greg,
Craig, you're muted.
Oh, I think I'm unmuted now. I don't know how that happened. Can you guys hear me
Thank
now?
you. Like, we can now, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna, would you be able to, I want to continue the conversation, but would you be able to send all documentation to the historical commission so that they have a
Yes.
reference of what?
Yeah,
we're-
and also I'm gonna send,
All that documentation is upstairs, right next door. Building department, the building department. That's the
But I-
plans.
yeah,
I'd like to send these things to the historical commission just so they know what we're talking about, because they can't see on the video.
yeah,
Not right now, but
yeah,
when you-
yeah.
afterwards.
Because he got to submit this to get a permit.
And so you said you had a permit.
I had.
Okay.
I haven't been to do the house that look like this.
From my understanding, you got a permit to repair the roof.
No,
And then that's the,
it's right there.
How many times do you have installed it?
It's the window not from, I took like.
I
But
can check.
yes, she can check, because she's the one that bought, but probably like 10.
You have 10 permits from the town for a building?
Yeah, because every step. Yeah, I did,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the PEM for the garage, PEM for the house, and then I changed. Yeah, I have a lot of little permits,
Okay.
and that would be. That is like how the house would look like.
but that's not the original plans.
Yeah, the original was I would just put the roof on. But then
Put what roof on it? Repair the roof?
repair, just repair.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You got a permit to repair the roof.
Yeah, that's the first thing. And then I applied for this, because once I knew that if I didn't own this. You know, I bought this and then this, now I'm gonna do.
Do you plan to live here or you plan to sell it?
Not that. Or rent, or probably rent, but that's right.
But you don't plan to live there.
No.
So he bought a historic house built in 1864. Original plans was to repair the roof,
Yes,
make some changes, garage, throw out a shed, whatever.
yes,
Found out the septic was on a separate piece of property, so we went through the long process to try and acquire that property so that the septic could stay where it is. And at some point, you decided you wanted to change the house.
yes.
And
I applied, I asked the architect.
you got a permit,
Yes,
you got architectural plan, you came to the town hall, you got a permit to make those changes to the house.
yes,
So I had two concerns. The first concern is this commission was never notified of significant changes to a historic house.
Yeah.
Right.
And the second one is
Because it's now, right now, for just for the audience, right now, it's now demolished at
Yes.
this point. It's gone.
the second one is you demolish that house without a permit. A historic house. And
Not
you wanna
a
build
brick slab
something
foundation, there's like
that
a
look
pile, I
like
just
the
stopped by like right before this meeting, there's like a pile of boards.
Yes.
On the, which are the original boards from the house,
yes.
sitting on top of the
Yeah.
foundation. That's
Yes.
what- that's what-
Yes,
So the house is demolished effectively.
yes,
So at that point, and how long ago did you demolish the house?
that was Saturday,
It was this past Saturday, so it's very recent.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Uh,
what day it was demolished?
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah, I know.
So you had to purchase the other piece of property for the
Yeah.
septic system that's on the
Yeah,
property?
that's why it took me so long to get the building permit. Yeah.
They got a demolition permit?
No, I took the building permit, which I took a demolition permit to do the shed.
The shed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when I applied this and they gave me the permit, I thought was included to take down the second floor and because when I submit this.
so you're saying you had a demolition permit?
No, just for the shed, not
Just
for
Of
the
the
house.
house.
Yeah, I took the building back, once I finished the foundation of that, this,
There's two definitions of demolish. One is to demolish it as part of the building process. The
yes,
other is to tear the house down.
yes,
So you got a permit
to
make
take up
it
the
look
roof,
like this.
Yeah.
And you have to take the roof off.
yeah, and the wall, the
Then you
first wall,
then you discovered that the ceiling rafters, the
Yes,
floor rafters in the attic were 2x6s.
2x6.
So you had to go up to probably 2x8s to put a second floor,
2x10.
2x10s.
Yeah, and then I took them off, and there was, and
This
this,
didn't properly support the house. While
no,
you were taking them. That's why I asked you if you had any experience, but
and then this opened it up. And then,
because you're aware we have a 6-month delay, the town of,
no,
or demolishing a historical.
no, please believe me, I don't even knew that it was historic. But my fault, I should
You
know.
knew it was a historic home.
I didn't know,
No,
no, I did not know.
when he took out the demolition permit to just to take down the house, he should have.
I did not take it to the demolition. plan.
Yeah,
No.
that's where they would have told you.
So somebody told you that you have to come before the historical commission?
After, yes, yeah,
Okay, who was the person who said Pat Roach?
yeah, Craig Road.
Okay,
And then they say, now are you going to go to historical?
Yeah.
And not even to clean the debris, I would not allow before come to before you.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question?
I'm sorry, Joan, what did you say?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
I
please.
want- I want to know, is he a general contractor? Has he done any kind of work like this before? It sounds like he's very new to this. He has no idea that he needs to follow the rules of the town before he starts working. I mean, he should ask questions. I mean, if he's a general contractor, he should know that he has to follow the rules that the town puts in place. And he should have come to us way before he even put his hands on that building. And he says he didn't know it was historic. Well, hello, he signed some contracts to buy the house. He must have known it was built in 1864. I mean, wouldn't you think somebody who has any idea of working with houses and buildings and whatever, if it was built in 1864, wouldn't that have put up a red flag and said to him, hello, this must be historic? Maybe I should step back and come before the Historic Commission before I lay my hands on this building, because I'm supposed to do that. Answer, sir?
You put it clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question, was how much experience did you have to go in and buy a house of this age and not properly support it while you're making the changes necessary to put a second story on it? And now we wind up with a pile of rubble.
Yeah.
In a historic neighborhood. There's not much we can do about that, but to, read you the right act, that, it's unacceptable to the Historic Commission that it's another historic home in town. But my additional concern is, and then you want to replace it with something that doesn't even represent the historic structure of that neighborhood.
Right.
I mean, I'd rather see a 1-story Cape house or a 1.5-story Cape house go back in place that looks like what was there or something similar. And I don't know whether you're open to that thought or not, now that you've spent the money for all these plans.
And how much bigger is that house there, obviously with that second story on it and
Well, it's going on the same foundation, right?
same foundation? Okay,
So it's
No.
twice the size, it's got a second floor, but
Yeah.
first floor and second.
Okay, that's still,
And did I hear that it's going to put another building on the same piece of property? I thought I read something in my notes that said that he was going to build 2 houses there.
Are you
No,
trying to buy the additional lot? There's another piece of land there, right?
He
I
owns
was
the other piece, right?
I want it right now.
I thought there
They
was
want
three parcels.
Oh, yes, and the other, the 0 High Street, I'm trying to buy.
Yeah.
So you own 2 parcels right now, but you're trying to buy a third?
Yes,
Okay,
because, yes, I'm trying to buy,
what's the third? Is that a house on it as well?
no, it's an empty lot, 0 High Street, it's an empty lot. Which
is that this? Okay, so it's essentially what's behind that area
yeah, which is,
right there.
Oh,
yeah, this spot.
And what's your plan for that lot, for a house front?
With a house on. But it would be, I would sit on if. But the reason why I put for the Jackson, because I spoke to Mary. She said. would
Mary
be-
Overhaul?
Yes.
Okay.
She said it would be doable because I just need to file for wetland crossing. And then the whatever disturbance, I would have to compensate for here. And it is, I have not bought this.
So you put a driveway through this lot?
Yeah, like the 87, like over here, this is 87 High Street.
Mhm.
They did do, wetland crossing, would be the same.
So where would the driveway be for that second lot?
Would be next to the 87, the zero, yeah, would be like, over here has a driveway at 87, would be next to it, like over here, and then be here.
But I don't think you could put a driveway on somebody else's property.
No,
This is-
this is High Street here,
Yeah. So where would the driveway be?
that like 5 feet away from the property line.
Oh, okay. It would be on your property.
It would be on zero. height.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Because the town has this property as buildable lot, and Valerie is the one who's suggesting to buy.
I don't think we can address that.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the whole story.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure
But
that's-
yes,
yeah. This, I think that this design is not going to fit in with the other historic residential properties that are on Stoddard Street. And I was looking at the bylaws. There's a section within the demolition delay bylaws, section J, that says during the 12-month review period, the commission will work with the property, national, state, and local historical preservation organizations and any other interested parties in an effort to preserve the significant building. I think it's considered a significant building because it's 1864. I think anything past 75 years is considered significant historical to abide by this bylaw. So it says such efforts shall include exploration of alternatives to demolition, including but not limited to rehabilitation of the structure, incorporating historical elements of the historic structure into the new structure, and finding a location to relocate the structure. So I'm thinking that we probably need to rethink
redesign,
this design, because this to me looks very, I'm not an architect obviously, but this design to me looks very modern.
yeah,
So I think we might need to
redesign.
redesign it so that it fits into the existing architecture of the other historic buildings that are on Stoddard Street. Would be my suggestion.
I mean, I suppose a two-story home, there's nothing we can say about that, but to have it more look like a more historic home for that neighborhood is what I would express to you. How can he change that enough so that it gets more
Look like-
proper? I mean, the first thing is that window on the top floor.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't see
No.
windows like that in homes. We'd like it to fit into the historic neighborhood. Basically, everything from High Street to Main Street to West Upton to the town halls is all historic homes.
The house right across the street from this one, kind of look like this.
Yeah, but I think the house across the street is a much,
Younger.
much.
Across High Street,
No, across 12.
across Stoddard Street.
Yeah.
So that house has been reworked quite a bit.
Yeah.
We want to aim for like a colonial kind of.
Okay.
They've added on to it.
What kind of architecture would you say is it colonial or Greek revival or?
No, it's simply a Cape style home.
Yeah.
That was there, you got the picture.
Yeah, this is the picture of it, so.
Yeah.
Get a theme for like
Because
this
the
type of
other ones
architecture.
go upstairs, this.
Was it down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it just tore it down without it. Didn't have a permit.
Right. So, I don't think we're gonna make any decisions about this right now. We're just kind of discussing it. So, I will leave this item on the agenda and we
Okay.
can If you want, we meet, once a month, if you wanna join.
No, so I'm gonna try for the, ask that too, because of the foundation to this house is already done. But I'll try that to change the shape.
Yeah, see more, look like that,
Yeah, I guess if you kind of aim for what it originally looked like, that's, I guess,
something like that.
something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know how much we have, say we have.
Well, I don't
Well-
think we have, but
No,
we have the right to.
Yes.
To not give you
Yes.
a building permission, which is gonna delay you for a year. And we don't want to do that. So our request is, can your architect make it
Change. Okay.
more colonial?
Okay.
I don't know, cave style, but more colonial, something to fit into a historic neighborhood. And who's your architect?
Daphne.
Out of where?
She
Out of Lowell?
Yeah.
Tell her to drive down, okay. We'd be happy to show her around.
Okay.
How do you spell the name of your architect?
Daphne. Like
DEF.
yes. I just had to say this. Daphne.
Is it DEF?
DAFNG. Let me call
Okay,
it.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
You don't have to call her. I was just curious, just so we have. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, if you could maybe discuss that with her and
Okay.
say you're aiming for colonial and maybe give her this image of the original
Okay.
house and maybe she can reshape it somehow to make it more colonial and fit into the neighborhood, I guess.
Okay.
Would be my suggestion.
Okay.
So, yeah, great. And I'll just leave this action item, it's the Stoddard Street demolition discussion on the agenda. If you want to come to the next meeting, if you have information or anything.
If I have enough to show.
Yeah, if you don't, you will just skip that action item. I'll just leave it on the agenda. for-
Okay, but I'll probably have something.
Okay, sure, yeah, if you have something, feel free to swing by.
Ô pai, você não quer tirar foto da casa não, pra mostrar pra Daphne?
Yeah, he's giving it.
Oh,
Keep it.
Yep, that's yours, yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. Yes, I took myself big time. Food. Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you, Howard.
guys.
Do you want to come up with a date for the demolition?
Oh, yes.
I can check here.
No, I have a max that I paid.
Today is the 28th, the 7th, 6/25, so Saturday was the 24th, was it the 24th or the
Yes.
17th?
17.
It's on you, for report. It's next on the agenda, boss.
I was just thinking, do we need to discuss any of this with the building commissioner at all? Okay, so let's have a conversation.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay, I don't know,
But yeah.
we just want to have a private discussion with them.
Was on the 17th.
Sorry.
The demolition was on the 17th.
It was on the subject.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if we want to invite you into the next meeting or so.
There's nothing.
Okay.
I mean, the concern that I have is, I've had this before. He goes and gets a permit, radically change a 19th century house, and here's the permit, just give me the money, here's the permit.
Does this come
Yeah.
to foreclosure? Is this foreclosure?
Says he bought it, well, he said 3 years, 2 years,
Yeah.
but you do the math, he bought it 15 months ago. He bought it December 2022. I don't know. I don't know anything about
He's been working on it. siding, did work on the garage, you put siding on the garage.
What was expressed to me this afternoon. It's not proven that, chainsaw marks were seen or something. That doesn't prove anything.
Yeah.
But the sense was not an experienced contractor. I think he's a mason, he said.
Yeah,
He's a mason, so I can do carpentry, and he doesn't support the structure while he's taking the ceiling joist out of a one-story home, takes the roof off, and now he's taking the ceiling joist out and the wall falls in.
Get collapsed.
And it's typical, I didn't even ask if he lives in town, he probably doesn't live in town. Buying the house with a big rental property,
Oh, I bet he doesn't.
so,
I saw some address on that thing, like Marlboro. Is that
yeah.
his address?
yeah, I think somebody this morning told me he lives in Marlboro.
Yeah.
So let's come out here and make some money at our expense.
Yep.
No, that's not to say we don't know what the condition that that house was in,
Yeah, I don't know even.
but, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't, it's a single story, small Cape home, it wasn't built
And
to be a
that,
two-story monstrosity, and he's trying to make it into a
yeah,
two-story.
that's awful.
To be surprised that it had 2x6, my house was built in 1977, it's got 2x6 ceiling face. It's a single-story house.
Yeah,
So you can't build up over 2x6. You've got to go to 2x8. I'm surprised we had 2x10.
Plus, I think he's gonna run into the septic system as well. If he's building that, he wanted to build that kind of a house, that septic is not gonna hold that.
It's
I know that only because the septic that you've got in
Yeah.
Covington
it's
Road,
entirely
damaged.
not big enough to.
Not,
Yeah.
right, and it's 1,500 gallon tank that Massachusetts is demanding.
And I
I
think
know more about septic than I wanna know.
it's based on
Well,
the bedrooms, I think.
Bedrooms, yes.
Bed-
Yes, it is, yeah.
So you could have a 500 square foot house with 4 bedrooms, you need a huge septic system. You could have a 5,000 square foot house with 4 bedrooms, you need the same size septic system.
and I'm surprised it's not tied into the Upton
There is no,
lines.
there is no story now.
There's no sewer.
No,
I don't think it goes that far over.
no, there's no.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, anyways.
So,
Although we probably might wanna have a,
Too bad, too bad to rush the house.
yeah,
We shouldn't have.
right.
He didn't follow the rules.
yeah, and
Ignorance to the rules is no excuse.
Yeah, although,
I was gonna say that to you while you were giving him all that room to say, he wants to build a house, he had to come get a permit. If he doesn't know what the rules are, he should be asking, which is exactly what Joe said.
although I think we should be notifying people, new owners should have some sort of notification about the rules.
Yeah, that makes for me sense.
Yeah.
Not that it's any different than any other town in Massachusetts, they all follow state law, for the most part, with a few exceptions that, you know, like 6-month demolition delays for historic homes.
Yeah.
Is enough in some towns, maybe, but building permits, and it's the same in every town, in Massachusetts, it's following state code.
Yeah,
May I have a question?
yes,
So we didn't sign off on this?
no,
No,
No. So if we don't sign off with it, can he go ahead with any more work on this site?
If we don't sign off, I'm told he can't do anything for 12 months. He can't get a building permit for 12 months until we sign.
But does he know that?
Yeah,
I think that the people who, the building, I don't know, inspector or whatever,
He went to the zoning board, I believe, and the zoning board told him he had to come to us and he had to get our approval before they would let him do anything. So he knows
Okay.
he should not
Well,
stop.
we need to tell the zoning board and the building inspector that we did not sign off on this and that no work should be allowed to be done at that site until we have time to discuss this further and have another meeting to vote on it.
Fine.
yeah, that's a good point, Joe. I'll make an action item, so we
yeah,
need,
the building inspector should be aware of this problem. It's a big one.
I remember another house that came up a number of years ago and the people told us that, you know, nothing historical was left in the house because it was changed so many times. And they were going to rip it down, and they showed us the plans, and they had a beautiful design of a house to replace the house that was there that would fit into the neighborhood very nicely. And then when they built it, it was entirely different than what they showed us. So, you know, I think we have to get tough on this.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the action item is to discuss with the building inspector and tell him we did not sign off on it. And no further work should be done until we discuss it further.
Right.
Okay.
And I put that Jones suggested we notify the building department and zoning board that we have not given our approval for any work until Mr. Santos responds with revised plans.
Guys.
Or tells us he's not going to revise one of the two. But it sounds to me like if he put $12,000 into the roof and everything else, he's lost all that money. That's all down the drain. That's in the cell hole right now.
Yeah, it's also a lot of money,
So as part of this action item, we need to discuss
but that's not.
with the building inspector, and we also need to notify, or have the building inspector notify Mr. Santos that he shouldn't continue any further work on the building until we get revised plans. So we have to tell the building inspector to notify Mr. Santos about that as well. Okay. Great. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is discuss creating standard operating procedure for documenting historical property before demolition. So, although I think we've kind of discussed that ad nauseum, I think we have the formal procedures in place, and if we want a more extensive procedure, we have the.
Well, what I was thinking is that it would be great if I don't know what department, building department, not necessarily, if we were notified that a historic property has changed hands, number one. And then maybe we create a packet that gets sent to that homeowner. You've just bought a historic home in our town. These are the laws that are in place to protect our historic homes. I don't know, something like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it comes down to, I think, the way our government ran before 9/11. Nobody talked to anybody. You can see that same thing here. Nobody buys a house, nobody knows, maybe the neighbors know. Somebody gets a building permit to change a historic home, nobody's told. And then the house falls down and, oh, you gotta go see the historic commission. Or
It's gone.
a little too late for us to do anything of any impact, other than say, let's not build an ultra modern house in the neighborhood. Let's build something a little more suppressed, a little more fitting with the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then the trick is, I don't know where that trigger is, where if a deed of a house exchanges hands, is anyone in the town notified about that? I
I'm
don't.
just thinking, and it just occurred to me that the assessor's office would know.
That's what I wondered, who did he buy this on? Because that's where I thought maybe it was in foreclosure and the bank just let it go for whatever he paid for it.
I don't know, but the assessor's office is gonna know that a house has changed hands and somebody else could pay the tax.
That's a good point.
And we don't need to know about every house that sells and every lot that sells, but if it's a house that was built prior to 1900, it should be nice to know. 1925 or something.
So with that being said, maybe we have another action item for discussing, I think, is her name Vicky, who's in the assessor's office? Maybe touch base with her and ask her if there's some way that she can notify us if a historical house changes hands, if we build that into the processes that they have in the assessor's office.
Before it's,
I think that's a good suggestion.
The assessor's office.
They have to change the demolition delay bylaw. We have to put that. And in the bylaw,
That the assessor's office has to contact us.
somebody has to be con, the new homeowner has to be told that we're made aware of, but historic, they got a historic property.
Yeah,
And you're right, it comes in this special. Different rules and regulations, it
Mm,
has to be followed if we make any changes.
mm.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because how many homes were built during the Civil War? I'll bet very few were built during the Civil War.
Yeah.
This one was. So the barn and garage is still standing, but the assessment office has no data. So we don't have it built in 1980, 1960, 1940.
Yeah, but I think we definitely need some sort of trigger to notify us for sure.
But it just seems incredulous that if he spent $12,000, he got a permit to repair the roof or whatever his idea was, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, why didn't I put a second floor on this? How do you
Yeah,
get
how
that?
do you get to that point? Yeah.
In the middle of, after spending the money, somebody must have said you can make more money if you put a second floor on it, I'm sure. I don't know.
Well, that's what he's seeing all the sites.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. For bylaw changes, would we need to reach out to KP Law? Ask for technical verbiage, legal verbiage for that to be accounted for in the bylaw? To include, as Russ was mentioning, editing the bylaw to state that the assessor's office has to contact the historical commission in order to notify us of a historical home changing hands.
Stop with Joe, that's what he's here for.
Yeah, I would think that have to go to town meeting.
I don't know
Or-
why we would have to change our bylaw. Why can't the assessor's office just add that to, the protocol of what they do when a house is sold?
I was just gonna say the same thing, Joe. Why do we need a bylaw to ask another department to talk to this department that somebody's bought a historic home? I don't know, we're gonna change laws in town for a courtesy notification, but properties just changed hands.
If it's not written down though, would it, maybe they could, maybe somebody, it's kind of like tribal knowledge at that point, because, maybe Vicky knows, but then maybe.
Need something, something to raise the flag.
Yeah, I think we might need action.
Again, a discussion with Joe about how do we go about this. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
He's supposed to know all the rules, so.
Yep. So I'll make an action item. So to do. With teeth. What's the office?
I came into this building Monday morning working on elections, and I grabbed Vicky and asked if she could get me the assessors paperwork on that property. Because he had contacted us and I told him to come to the meeting, and she says, oh, the house is on the ground. I said, yeah, it's on the ground, yeah. She says, no, it's been demolished. And I read in the email that Laura Ball sent me last Thursday that said, I need a demolition permit for my house. He didn't say because it's already been demolished.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's see, next item. Resurrecting the National Historic District warrant article again, but this time properly explaining to people via YouTube video what a National Historic District is and what it would entail for them.
Again, I think somebody's got to do some research first.
Yeah.
Before we even approach doing something like that.
Yeah.
Can I chime in about that?
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, making a video obviously would probably take time. I mean, we can definitely do it ourselves as an option, and put ourselves on camera if folks would like to be on camera. I mean, we can also see about, connecting. I know we've been talking a lot about with getting our Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts in town, kind of connecting them, as this could possibly potentially be kind of like an Eagle Scout project. It can be a civics project as well, because it's, again, giving back to the community. It's community outreach. So, I mean, there are some avenues. I mean, definitely we could look at that, like making a video, say in the summer season, when I know myself, I have some extra time and the kids are out of school, so there's no conflicts with sports extracurriculars and such.
Yeah, Patrick, is that something you might be interested in doing like, when the summer rolls around, or?
I have been slowly putting together, I've been kind of seeing what's out there, what other historical commissions in our state and the Commonwealth have done. There's not a great deal. I mean, there is stuff through the state. I mean, Mass Historical Society has a few things. If you look at Salem, if you look at some of the towns that go back, say, to the 17th, 18th century, but nothing that's, I guess, very more user friendly. It's more like, the historical district is this. There's no like actual elaboration on that. So still looking at things, but slowly going, if you will.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I wonder if more historical towns like Lexington, Concord, they might have something in place already that we could at least use as an example for Upton, maybe modify it somehow. Okay. Okay, so yeah, maybe that's something we'll explore a little bit when the summer rolls around. Look into that. So the next item on the agenda is discuss the setup of the cloud storage to help historical commission organize documents and pass documents to new members. I had actually met with Joe Layden and also Chris from the technology department in Upton, and we discussed it a little bit. And I guess my takeaway from the conversation was that Joe said that we can continue using the box.com solution as it's already set up. However, he said the sticking point for the open meeting law is we cannot use the box.com cloud storage solution for collaborating on documents. I guess that was his concern. He says we should specifically only use that box.com cloud storage solution for sharing documents that are completed. So if we put notes like meeting minutes up there, they should be the formalized final version of the meeting minutes. We're not gonna post meeting minutes and then say, to somebody, can you go in there and add something, because that's changing the document. You can only put finalized documents there. That was my takeaway from what.
And I think the intent that you originally started with was for us to preserve. So
Yes, yeah,
it's basically, don't run a meeting, don't make any decisions, don't do anything using a site like that. But if you want to store your documentation there, then it's acceptable.
exactly. Yeah.
That's how I interpret.
Yeah. So therefore, going forward, we'll just continue to use the box.com storage solution for storing and formalized finished documents. Good. So that's that. Next item on the agenda is historical commission mailbox. As I had stated, I checked it last week. There was no mail. I checked it today, and we had a flyer from the Friends of Upland State Forest in there. So that's that. Next item on the agenda is the Grange building. I don't know if Ed, you had any updates for the Grange building?
What's it? Stare at me, Russ. You make me nervous. Well, we have two good pieces of news to report on the Grange. Wonderful. After a very painful year. First is I got a report about 3 weeks ago from the John Canning Company in Connecticut, who analyzed the paint chips that Ken and I had taken off the building and sent them. So we now have the historic original colors of that building. And the fascinating thing was John Canning was able to tell us what the original primer color was, what the original paint color was, what the second paint color was, what the third paint color was, and what the fourth paint color. Wow. And you say, oh, wow, and then you think about it. The building is 173 years old and has received 4 coats of paint. And we wonder why it's in need of a coat of paint. So the original color was an off-white and the trim was a gray brown. Nothing terribly exciting, but an off-white and gray. Yeah. So the second good news is after last Friday, I think it was a week ago Friday, we got the bids back. They were out for a month, the bids came back. The bad news is we received only 2 bids on the property, 12 were taken out. Only 2 were submitted. One was submitted at 141,200 and one was submitted at 156,000. The one at 141,000 bid an additional $4,750 to rebuild the handicap ramp. The one at 156,000 bid an additional $21,000 to build a handicap ramp. Clearly, the guy at 4,700 screwed up, and I caught him. And he knows he screwed up. But I also told him that you can't change your bid. He says, no problem, there's enough profit in the 141, you'd be happy to build a handicap ramp. So if this guy is competent, and I checked his 3 references and all were pleased with the work they've done, I think what made it even more interesting was 2 housing authorities have used the guy for work, and they've used him multiple times. So clearly, if you're not satisfied with somebody, you're not going to call them again. I only speculate that he's probably an affordable contractor. Let me word it that way, and not priced through the roof. So we're able to get everything done for $146,000. We had budgeted 150. I think we've got 158,000 available. So we might still be able to get some gravel work or something done in the parking lot or whatever. Right. When all is said and done, the contract was sent off to the contractor yesterday evening. I had to get the architect to send a letter to the Mass Historic Commission recommending the contractor, who had to get it from me, because bad news during the process was the architect refused to handle the bid. Basically, he sent Ken and I a bill for $5,000 and said the bidding was not included in the original contract. Whereupon we said, then go to the bid. Thank you very much, but we're not paying $5,000 because we don't have to pay it. So I wound up having to write a letter to the architect telling him I checked the references, everything sounds good, looks good. People have used it multiple times. Some concern with communication between him and his subcontractors on early projects, which the one reference said he has corrected that with new people, so more people better. So he had to send a letter to the Mass Historic Commission. The Mass Historic Commission now has to send a letter to the Grange or a letter to themselves to the project, accepting the contract or whatever. But I was told to release the contract to the contractor for the project. So I released it. The contractor responded this morning and said he's got the documents. He will be filling out his portion of the contract, adding the bond, which he's required to post a bond, and submitting all that shortly. So hopefully within a week or so, we have a contract and a bond posted. And subsequently, the architect will then schedule an on-site pre-construction meeting to discuss the project with the contractor. So we still have a shot at pulling this off by the end of June. That's where we're at.
So
Take a deep breath.
The Mass Historic Commission will not pay any of the $50,000 for any work done after June 30th. So does that answer your question? It has to be done by the end of June? Doesn't have to be, but it's not done by the end of June. Any work that happens after June 30th will not be 50% matched by the state. So it's about a month's work.
yeah, 4 months to complete it.
And we've got March, April, May, and June to complete it. And I suspect, I'm pretty sure the contractor is primarily a roofing contractor. So I'm pretty sure the roof will go on and we won't even notice. It'll be a blink of an eye. He'll have a roof on it. He is going to do the roofing and he is going to do all the carpentry. So siding repairs and trim repairs and the handicap ramp. He may subcontract painters to do the painting on it, which is fine. There's no, I mean, the one point I made to the guy in Boston at the Mass Historical Commission, who was really giving me a hard time last week, was there was no historical work being done to that building. We're gonna replace some clapboards, we're gonna replace some asphalt shingles, so I know you gotta follow the rules, but stop busting our chops. But he came back with, I never heard of this guy, has he done any historic work? So I emailed him. Within an hour, I had 3 properties he'd done work on that was historic. Sent it to the guy in Boston. The guy in Boston says, I recognize 2 of them, I don't recognize the third. Could you please find out what it is? And I said, does it really matter? You have 2 that you recognize were historic properties. Well, he said, yeah, I suppose. What, Catherine? Or John?
Oh, Ed, I just can't believe what you have been through with this whole project and, to come down to something like that where they, question the third one. I mean,
Two
Ugh.
days ago, or a day and a half ago, Joan, I got an email from the guy in Boston who basically says, I got the letter from the architect recommending the contractor. I will create the acceptance letter or whatever he's got to create. And then he sends me a personal email and says, why am I managing the project? Why isn't Ken Paulson? So
oh,
it's still on the edge here where I'm really not supposed to be doing what I'm doing, but I basically explained to him that I'm doing what I'm doing because I have the experience and this project wouldn't be happening if I wasn't pushing it, so.
you know what I'd like to know? How many of these projects that are accepted by the state actually are completed? Because, if every project goes through the headaches that our project has gone through, I can't imagine, people having the strength to follow it through like you have. I mean, it's just incredible to think that, how many backflips you've done to try to make this happen.
Last email I sent to the state and to the architect and to Ken was basically, I'm playing the back seat now. You guys run the program. You've got a contractor, you're gonna have a contract, and just call me if you got a problem. So we'll see if Ken can even do that. I don't know how he's run the last all these years, but he has, so yeah, it takes a different skill to keep these guys moving. Contractors tend to get misfocused and not put 2x4s in the right place when they're replacing a roof. And go to the guy that's screaming at him to do the work while not showing up to the property that you got a contract with because nobody's screaming at you. So I learned that 50 years ago. So you pick up the phone every night and say, make sure your painter shows up, your carpenter shows up, make sure somebody shows up and keeps my job moving.
Especially where we have a deadline. I mean, we have to have it done.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the Holy Angels Church. 3 items on that is painting the church with a historical design, lighting the windows, and replacing the stained glass protector. I had reached out to Heritage Exteriors and to see if they could provide us a quote for replacing the stained glass windows. They said they probably won't be able to get me a quote for about a month or so. Due to personal issues, and I had spoken to Joe about this, and he said that he recommends that we use the funding that we requested from the town hall to pay for the stained glass window protectors. So I think that's how we'll proceed, but until I have a quote, I don't think it's worthwhile for the historical commission to take a vote on getting the funding or using our funding to get the protectors. We really need the amount of money.
Well, let's
vote on it.
Let's back up one paragraph.
Okay, sure.
From the last meeting we had in January. You said something to Joe about, I think it was the letter you wrote about getting some lighting behind the 2 front windows and possibly repairing the storm windows, protecting the stained glass. And Joe's response to you was, I thought the historical commission was taking care of the storm windows.
Yes.
After he clearly told me and us 6 months ago to mind our own business, it wasn't our problem. The DPW director was being put in charge of maintenance of our town buildings.
Right.
So I want to go on record to say I was very shocked at Joe Layton's response and upset that he said it in such a way that he thought we were taking care of it. He told us to mind our own business and not be involved in the Holy Angels Church issues.
Yeah, although it might be better if we are in charge of it, because we'll at least make sure it gets done.
Well, I'm not saying we shouldn't be. I wanted to make a point that he told us that, to not be involved.
Right,
And
right,
to
right.
back off, and he was gonna put, Dennis at the DPW in charge of figuring out what the Knowlton, Ristine and Holy Angels and the town hall, whatever these buildings need, because nobody's in charge of any maintenance.
Right.
We just run them for 100 years, they fall apart, and then we ask the town to spend $20 million to fix them, so. So I have not had time, and I'm not gonna have time for the next month, but if I can think of somebody that, I know I had talked to someone last year, I probably didn't keep their name, that does stone windows and stuff like that. Those are the kind of people that we should probably try and locate.
I know, and I had done a little research. I know there's another contractor out of Northridge called like Pioneer, and they, I think,
Yeah,
right on the website, they said.
Pioneer Glass, they're on Main Street. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
think of that, yeah.
I've never been to their site or anything, but,
Yeah, but you sent me the email with the outfit in Kansas or Ohio, that I said, yeah, there's some $50,000 stained glass storm windows to protect us. They look like a John Candy company that specializes in historic preservation. We're just trying to protect some.
yeah, we probably just need plexiglass.
So somebody like that might be perfect.
Pioneer?
Yeah,
Okay, so should I take an action to reach out to them and see if we can get a quote?
certainly can't hurt.
Okay.
Stop by, we need 1 or 2 stone glass windows replaced. Can you look at it, give us a price and do it? Yeah.
Okay, I will take that on as an action item.
I'm anticipating, $2,000 or $3,000, nothing big, but who knows? There's one still in Milford anywhere that does.
Yeah, there was a glass place in Milford. I don't know if they went out of business or not.
Yeah, they've gone out.
They went out, okay.
Across from the district.
Yes. Okay, I'll take that on as an action. item. Concerning restoring the electricity in the building, I think that's definitely something that we need the DPW to do. It's not in our purview.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Joe say anything at all about that? Because
Did you mention that in the letter too?
I was waiting for a negative response, like, what are you guys crazy? But we didn't get that. It was like it slid right over it, and it wasn't a big issue.
Yeah,
I would think Dennis has got to deal with that, at the DPW.
The building inspector. Wiring inspector.
And building department, water inspector,
Yeah.
in a building that's been half gutted and things hanging, and I don't know, it's kind of a scary situation.
It is.
Electricity back there.
Yeah.
so for that one, do I email Dennis Westfeet and ask him about that and CC Joe? Or?
I would email
And
Pat Roach, or email Dennis and copy Pat Roach and Joe.
Yeah.
Because Dennis works for Joe, or something like that. And Pat, I think the electrical inspector works for Pat.
Okay,
Yeah, just see if you get any pushback or.
okay, I'll do that as an action item. And then the only other one is the paint chip analysis. Have you had any updates on that, Dennis?
I haven't asked him again.
So I'll
I didn't
include
want to
that
push
in
too
the,
hard. He said he would do it, but
I'll include that in the email. I'll CC the whole historical commission too. That's that. Moving on to social media updates. Patrick, is there any updates for social media? You're aware of?
There is one thing. It's nothing super major, but I know I've been chit-chatting with our historical society friends and neighbors, and I know we've been having, and Craig, I know you've been on the exchanges as well, about I think we just need to be mindful of, and maybe I could share this with you, Craig, or whoever our chairperson is, just to make sure we have another person who has our passwords for our social media, because I guess right now we're having difficulty kind of changing the password because there have been different folks that have been managing the Facebook page for the Historical Society. And so we've been like reaching out to Facebook. We've been trying to kind of make sure that no one can get into our page, which I don't think anyone would, to be honest with you. I know we've been kind of discussing with Tom about kind of redoing the page, like kind of restarting it just to make sure, again, we have it, we have control of it, so it doesn't get lost. If, say, somebody passes away, moves out of the town, then it's not just there and we're not able to access it. So I think that's just something, and it's an easy fix. I think it's just we write down kind of the login and share it with whoever the chairperson is. And so we have
Yeah.
it. The second person has it so it doesn't, go lost. Because I know talking with Facebook and talking with Ellen and other folks, there is a fear of losing things, which nothing would get lost if things got restarted. I know we can't merge the Facebook pages because of, Upton Historical is a nonprofit and we don't want to confuse people. There's a possible idea we could rebrand, but that would have to be a conversation with, having Ellen, Tom, and people in the room for that one. But that's kind of the update I have. It's just maybe we just have the login information somewhere that's secure and with people that need it.
Yeah, Patrick, you and I are both on there so that there's not just one person, just so you know.
Yep. Exactly. And so, I mean, and Craig and everyone, we're completely fine. I just think of it as a cautionary tale for our with the Historical Society, where it's fine. The page is secure. Historical Society is secure. It's just changing it is a hassle because it's been many, many years since we've had to change it.
Would it make sense to store it on their cloud storage? Because I know Historical Society has the box.com cloud storage. So would we want to save the password there? Is that unsecure to save it on the cloud?
It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a backup. But like right now, like since Catherine's on the page, I'm on the page, we have 2 current members. It could be we just have in place that whoever steps down or doesn't do the social media page, we just make sure it's shared with the chairperson so they have it. So there's nothing gets lost in translation.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I believe Linda Gay is working on redoing the Historical Society website. I think that it's the old one's kind of defunct at this point. I think Linda Gay is working on updating the Roots website.
Yes.
Yeah, because Roots Web went out of basically got bought and then they closed it. Ancestry closed it, so they had to port over everything from Roots Web because it would no longer be able to be edited after a certain date. So yeah, Linda Gay is remaking it, is my understanding.
That was my understanding. Oh, yep. Okay. Great. Sounds good. Okay, moving on. Upton's 300th anniversary. Is there any updates for that? No. No updates from you, Joan?
No,
Okay. And we have reached the end of our agenda items. So if there's any topics that were not reasonably anticipated, we can bring them up now. Does anyone have any updates or questions or comments? No. No. Okay, hearing none, I think we can go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Seconded. Roll call vote. Craig, aye.
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Aye.
Ed, aye. Patrick,
Aye.
Joan,
aye.
Catherine,
Aye.
Next meeting date?
yes, next meeting dates. Yep,
You want to go to April, second week in April, or?
March, February, March, we're in March.
Okay.
13th of April.
You have 4 quarter days of year left tomorrow, the leap year.
Tomorrow's the last day.
So you want to do a meeting in 2 weeks?
March 13th.
Is that too soon?
That's the second Wednesday in March, the 13th.
I think it's probably better if Joan is back then to put it back to sort of where,
I'm not going to be back in March. I'm going to be back in April. I misled everybody.
okay.
Do you have a conference room in Florida, Joan, we could attend?
Because it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we aim for April then, because Joan will be, you're gonna be back in April, Joan?
For the second Wednesday, no. I'm not coming back until the 11th, and the second Wednesday is the 10th.
Okay, are you able to, you don't have a problem obviously joining on the internet though, so. Right?
No.
Well, you've got Mr. Santos. I hate to leave him hanging for 5 or 6 weeks if we push it to the second or third week in April.
Oh,
Well,
he'll have the house built by then.
It might take us go for the second week in April, which is only, what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, skip March,
So the 10th of,
whatever the
April?
second Wednesday of April. is.
Ten.
Is that the 10th?
okay, all right, next meeting, April 10th.
Does that work for everybody, April 10th?
Is that good for everyone?
I think that's
Okay.
fine.
Patrick, are there any new babies yet?
Say that again?
Is your new baby there yet?
Catherine's getting induced on Friday, so
Oh.
we will. So we'll be at Milford Hospital this weekend, and then we're hoping to be out of the hospital sooner rather than later, and hope to
Well,
be
let me-
home.
Let me know when, Patrick, because my wife works in maternity. I'll make sure she works that shift.
That honestly, Ed, that would be great.
Extra special treatment. I can read it.
That's exciting. Well, congratulations, Patrick. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Does the historic commission get to name the child?
I mean, we can put it up for a vote.
Middle name, Upton?
I cannot divulge the name yet. If I would do that, fair to say, I would probably be sleeping like Snoopy on top of the doghouse. So I'm not allowed to share the name yet.
Okay, well, we'll hear all about it at the next meeting, that's for sure.
There will be pictures.
Television, we won't tell.
Good.
Whisper
there-
it.
It could also be show and tell. I might come to the meeting and bring our
Right.
baby and
There you go.
Okay, sounds good. Okey doke, it was a beautiful day in Florida today. Perfect weather. Sorry.
We're all jealous.
Need to know.
I'll enjoy it.
Okay, we'll see you next meeting. April
Great.
the
Thank you everyone for attending.
All right, then is it done?
night,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good night.
Meeting adjourned at 8:26.